today's great recipe is starting with 4 medium boiled eggs. From there, while those are boiling, we're going to start and take 1/2 of an avocado, and we're going to put it right there onto our cutting board. And then from there, we're bringing in 1 shallot. And then next, for this refreshing, delicious recipe, we've got 1 dill pickle. So these are quarter slices, so we're just going to pull out a few of these slices of dill pickles from our jar. These are the kosher ones. You can use sweet ones too if you want, but I prefer the dill myself. And then we're going to bring in about a handful of fresh dill as well. Then we're going to put it on our chopping board, get out our sharpest knife we got, and let's go to town, get these sliced up a little bit. So we're going to make a mixture with these ingredients, a nice, fresh, protein-rich, but still tasty dill-flavored mixture. And so you can make it chunky if you want by going with smaller or bigger slices, or you can make it a lot less chunky by going with smaller slices. So now let's get into those pickles and get those chopped up. Perfect, just like that. There we go. Good. Now we want to get our dill. Now this one we really definitely want to get into some very nice minced pieces. We don't want big pieces of dill, of course. We want much smaller ones of those. And again, you can go about 1/2 cup to even a 1/4 cup if you don't want too much dill flavor. And then the shallot, it's supposed to be about 1 small shallot. This is a pretty big shallot, so I'm going to use most of it, but not all of it. Now, if you like shallots, by all means, or you like onions, you could use onions in here instead too. But you can go with as much or as little as you would like, depending on which flavors you prefer the most in this mixture. Now that we got those done, we're just going to do a few more passes through with the blade, get it into even smaller pieces. I don't want my mixture to be too chunky, so I'm going to get some, do a little bit more slicing here and get some smaller pieces before we move on. So now that we got that almost finished, let's go ahead and bring in those hard-boiled eggs. Look how nice that came out of the shell. Perfect. After those boiled for about 8 minutes, I put them in some ice water for a few minutes so that they separated from the shell easily. And as you can see when you cut open, perfect. These came out a little bit more almost hard-boiled, but still just on the softer side of, or on the harder side of medium. And we want to get these cut into some smaller pieces as well. Don't want too big of the chunks of eggs, and these eggs are so fantastic. If you don't know, the yolks are loaded with vitamins, choline, very, very important stuff. Very good for the brain, and loaded with protein too, of course. So there's a lot of good stuff in eggs. You don't need to be afraid of those yolks. That dietary cholesterol does not affect blood cholesterol. That's been proven for like 50 years. So if you think that you shouldn't eat the yolk because of the cholesterol, that is a myth that has been disproven time and time again. So please do not fall for that fallacy. All right, and those avocado, those are so awesome too. So creamy and delicious. Tons of nutrients, monounsaturated fat in there. Vitamin E, lots of great stuff, even some potassium there in the avocado. Now let's bring in some mayo, get some more flavor going. This is half the fat of traditional mayo because it uses avocado oil, which makes it a little bit more healthy. We're just going with 1 large tablespoon of mayo, and then some mustard. You can use Dijon mustard, you can use regular mustard. I'm going to go 2 tablespoons of the mustard. And then from here, we're going to bring in some cottage cheese. I'm using low fat. This Daisy's really, really delicious. Creamy, very, very satisfying, loaded with protein, low in fat. And I'm going to do 2 to 3 tablespoons. I want 3 tablespoons because I want a lot of protein in my mixture, but you can do only 2 tablespoons as well if you don't want so much. Now some garlic powder. I love garlic. This is really, really important for this one, and it's only about a 1/2 tablespoon of garlic. And then onion powder, and we're going to go about 1/2 tablespoon of onion powder as well, and you can go heavier if you'd like to get even more of that flavor in there. And then a little bit of sea salt. This is iodized, so you're still getting that iodine. Sea salt usually doesn't have iodine in it, so if you use a lot of sea salt, make sure you try and get the kind that has iodine, because that's a large source of iodine in most people's diet is salt. Now some fresh ground black pepper, and just about a 1/4 tablespoon of that, or a teaspoon. Now we got to mix all that together. Look how delicious that looks. It's going to be creamy, it's going to be herbal, it's going to be fragrant and fresh, loaded with protein and that creamy flavor. Just a fantastic, this could be a snack, this could be a meal prep for your week, and be a great refreshing lunch. Now we're just going to bring in a few romaine leaves. So these are going to be kind of like our shell for our egg salad that we created. Perfect. Look at that. Just beautiful. So let's get that bowl. Let's get that precious egg mixture to put on into those fresh romaine leaves. Think about how crisp and flavorful and perfect this is going to be for lunchtime, especially during the summer. You don't want anything too heavy. You might not have as strong as an appetite with all that heat, and you don't want something hot and makes you feel a little bit more stuff. We want something nice and fresh and crisp and refreshing, and this is just what that fills the bill for that. So we want to get a few tablespoons of the mixture in each of those, and then you can have some left over throughout the week as well. Leave some in the bowl to use for other things like a salad or whatnot. A sandwich, some bread. So now let's just spread our mixture throughout the entire romaine leaf so we get some of that delicious egg salad mix in each bite, and it smells fantastic. You can smell the dill, a little bit of the onion, so herbal and fragrant and wonderful. Some of that mustard is coming through too. Just beautiful. This is so great. I'm really, really happy with how this is looking, how it's smelling. I think you guys will be too. You got to give this a shot. Let me know what you think, or if there's something you could put this in that would be better. I mean, maybe a low-carb tortilla would be pretty awesome. Please, by all means, let me know comments what you think would be good as well, or if there's some ingredient. I think maybe a little bit of cayenne pepper would be awesome to spice this up a little bit. You know, I like spice and everything. Or a little bit of sriracha, egg salad sriracha. That's pretty awesome if you ask me. All right, we're just getting to the end now. Time to give it a bite. This smells so fantastic, so herbal and fresh. Can't wait to give it a big, crisp bite. This is fantastic. If you want something fresh, tasty, and healthy, this is what you want.